What's up, people? This is Vigalantee The Hip-hopologist for reasonforrhymes.com. That's reasonforrhymes.com with the number 4. What's going on? Yeah, it's been a crazy year in hip-hop. I brought in my man Wayne Hodges from Mass Appeal News to kind of talk about some things that's been going on, in hip-hop and also in the entertainment world. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, no doubt. Just chilling. Man, you do what I do, so this has been a crazy year. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, man. Right now, massappealnews.com, everybody's talking about Fat Joe. He pleaded guilty to tax evasion.
I know. I saw that. We did that arc on that too, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
The federal government said he stiffed him out of $700,000 in income taxes for the years 2007 and 2008.
Woo, good Lord, man. So let me ask you a question. That brings up a good question. You would think, especially if you're making that money, I don't think they really come out somebody like us, but because we don't make enough money to even to get on the radar. Man, what do you think about all these examples of artists, stars that's getting in tax trouble that you think that sooner or later they will learn? Tell me what type of mindset goes into knowing that if they got Wesley Snipes, they'll get you. If they got Ronald Isley, they'll get you. What do you think?
Well, it's tough to quantify what they do. When I say quantify, I'm talking about in terms of how do they track their income. They don't fill out W-2s like we do. They're paid per show, and a lot of times not only are they paid through certain provisions or whatever with whoever their companies are or agencies or those type of things, but then their funds are also allocated and distributed, in so many different directions. Whether they're paying their agents, whether they're paying for studio time, whether they're paying for, God knows what, not to mention their own personal responsibility. So it's just tough to quantify what they do. And what happens is when the IRS audits them and they find, they find all these, sources and streams of revenue, then these entertainers are like, okay, I made blah, 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 but I also paid out blah, blah, blah. So it's not, and, people like you and I, who work, 9-to-5 jobs, we have W-2s, we have tax rates, we have fixed tax rates, and those sort of things. It's not the same with those guys. And but a lot of them need, a lot of those guys just need to maybe get good financial advisors and become a little bit more cognizant of what constitutes a tax shelter.
You're right. Yes. Well, maybe we can call up my boy Boyce and he can give him some financial advice. Man, it's crazy though. You're right about that, the complexity of it. But it just seems like because I see other rappers or other movie stars that will at least make me knowing if I'm making a certain amount of money per show, that I will at least get somebody to look over that. I think sometimes we get so caught up in buying things and doing things that we forget about. We need to maybe look over these things. I'm not saying that Fat Joe didn't want to do that or not. I got love for him. I think he's a real underrated rapper. But I just think that, man, hopefully the other rappers can look at this and other artists and people can look at this and say, well, maybe we need to find out exactly what our money is doing. And that's what my boy Ashley Boyce is a financial professor, so I think he could help a couple people out on there, shameless plug. But let's get into something else, man. What do you think about Rihanna and I guess Chris Brown maybe breaking up again, man? I kind of supported that, they just trying to do their thing again, but do you think that this Instagram stuff and this new age of, mass, media, social media has kind of made people just jump for anything and it's an attention grabber, or do you think that she's really done with him? I see that Jay-Z bought her a brand new gift, and maybe that gift is because he never really liked Chris Brown in the first place. What do you think, bro? Are we just speculating and gossiping?
I think that because they made a song together, they had that duet called Nobody's Business, and that song came out recently, and, I listened to the lyrics, and matter of fact, I posted the lyrics on massappealnews.com because they took, you mentioned Instagram, and they took a photo together, a romantic photo, and they, shot it out to millions of people on Instagram. And then, of course, once it made its way to the web, everybody and your mama knew about it. But it could be simply, and I don't want to, oversimplify it, but it could just be a ploy to, sell more records. And look, these guys are entertainers. And you know as well as I do, the most important thing is not necessarily good publicity, it's just publicity. Because your name is out there. And I think Chris Brown has mastered that. Okay, look at it this way. And tell me what you think.
Okay.
Chris Brown, of course, a few years ago, he had the felony assault on Rihanna. He's still on probation for that right now. And then, of course, her photos made its way to the internet. And I don't know if you saw the photos from that night, which I believe was it the night before the Grammys when he allegedly assaulted. Well, I won't say allegedly. He did assault her.
Yeah. I saw it. Man, nasty.
Right, but his and give his people credit. And I'm talking about his management team. They took that and flipped it, and then they created this bad boy persona for him. And they put a bunch of tattoos on him, and he dyed his hair gold, and he made himself even more popular, and he's selling even more records. I mean, these people, and I know people don't want to hear that. A lot of times, these dilemmas, these breakups, these court cases, fraternity issues, whatever, a lot of times it's simply a ploy to sell more records.
You're right. It is, and that's what we that's the new age now, man, is to sell records at any cost. As long as they know what's going on, it don't matter what the people know what's going on, man. And I think one of my last questions before we get out of here, and I'm definitely get you back on. What do you think, man? Being that we've seen hip hop evolve. I've seen it evolve into this new type of thing that it is now. How do you feel about some of the MCs that's coming up now and the younger artists? And do you think that the direction of hip hop from being back in the days about, it's always about kicking and partying, and do you think that right now is a little overboard? There's not enough conscious music out there. You got the 2 Chainz blowing up things, but then you got Kendrick Lamar and some other artists out there doing their thing. Do it look more like a minstrel show, or I'm overreacting and music will always find a way to turn back to something? Because there's a lot of things that went on in this world, like Trayvon Martin earlier this year, Jordan Davis and stuff, and I still don't see artists gravitating to like Fight the Power when things were happening in the late 80s and the 90s with Spike Lee, the movie Do the Right Thing and all these things, Malcolm X. I don't think, do you think that the young artists are too far gone? I know it's a lot of words I'm throwing at you, but do you think that it's too far gone to kind of capture the moment of what's going on? Marvin Gaye back in the late 60s, early 70s, saw the Vietnam War and, switched his whole style up with what's going on. So I'm just thinking, are we going to find an artist like that, at least mainstream artists like that can kind of reach within themselves and use that thing like Tupac did? What you think?
I think you mentioned 2 Chainz, and here's the thing that's interesting, and it kind of get back to what we talked about a few weeks ago. I know we discussed some hip hop topics, but 2 Chainz is actually 42 years old. And, of course, you got Jay-Z. He's in his 40s, and he's a contemporary artist. And not only contemporary, but on top. And when you compare hip-hop today to hip-hop of the 90s, which I think was, in my opinion, the most dominant era for rap music.
Yes, golden age.
And not just from the, beats and lyrics standpoint, but from a community awareness standpoint. I mean, you think about an artist like KRS-One who rapped about Black history in U.S. London. And if you hear that song, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot about Black history just from listening to those lyrics. And that song.
Yeah, you best believe it, man. Yeah, especially, that after that album came out, You Must Learn, definitely, from the late 80s on up, you best believe it, man. KRS-One, Public Enemy. So you think that we can ever get back to that? You think any young people are interested in that when they see a lot of, party music, money. It's all about branding now. Do you think anybody willing to take that sacrifice to do something actually that can uplift the community?
Well, we hear this silly excuse, and this is the excuse we hear. If you make community awareness records, if you make positive informational music, it won't sell. That's bogus. And, look, a lot of these record companies are telling these artists that because they want them, producing and disseminating, crazy and outlandish lyrics when it's not even necessary. I think most people, look, talk to people and you produce and make music. They like they like the beat first.
Yep.
You like the music and the beat first, and then the lyrics come in second. So it's really about producing good music. But these record company, execs, and that's where we get back to, as African Americans, we need to start owning these industries that we're producing in, instead of having these guys in suit and ties tell us how to speak and act, because that's really what it is. To answer your question, yes, we can get back to that once we start owning these companies. And
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's the problem. We're puppets.
Yep, we're all puppets, Bojangles. That's what they call it. Also, man, it's crazy that you say that because I believe that urban radio is falling. I think urban radio is on a decline. I think there was a concerted effort to focus on other genres of music and put money in that. And I think urban radio got a template that play buffoonery. You go to each city, you hear a bunch of buffoonery, the same top 25 buffoonery you hear, pretty much. It's a cookie cutter thing, and I think they're falling. I think urban radio is on the decline. I think it's time to get your own stuff and work on, like I said, you got the YouTubes. You got Star and Buck Wild doing a live YouTube stream show, so people are trying to get into the entrepreneurship. I think that rap is kind of dropping the ball, hip-hop rather, it's kind of dropping the ball because I think that all the money they done made, the Little Waynes and Babies and buying big houses and stuff, that they still ain't recognized that owning distribution and these type of things, they still, it's like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm making $1 billion, I don't care about your $1 million because I think that, like you say, the execs, along with the radio station, because the company is basically owning the radio stations too. So they're playing whatever they want to play, and I don't think consciousness have a chance until people, wake up. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I thank you for coming on the show, man. I thank you for coming on the show. We can continue doing this, man, from time to time, dropping some knowledge on, man. And I just say to people out there, man, where can they find you at, Wayne Hodges?
You can find me at mattspooners.com. Once you go inside the website, join us on Facebook and Twitter, and also sign up for our free daily e-magazines. And where can we find this interview?
You can find this interview on reasonforrhymes.com, man. There's reason with the number 4, rhymes.com, man. yourblackworld.com. You can find it there, man, and you'll see it there. Posted up, man, and we're glad to have you on, man. Like I say, man, we love hip-hop, man. We love the entertainment, man. I just think that we got to wake up, yo. This is Vigilante for reasonforrhymes.com, and I'm out.